welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I am your host, Wize, and today's guest is a resilience coach who helps entrepreneurs master the mental game behind long-term success. Through her resilience mapping framework, she helps founders turn frustration into focus, setbacks into strategy, and momentum into sustainable growth. She brings a tell it like it is approach, real stories, and practical tools for anyone building something that actually lasts. Welcome to the show, Genevieve Skory.
Having me.
Oh, the pleasure's mine. Thank you for being a guest. I'm excited. So I have some. I'm ready. I gotta have some questions. Hold on.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right. So, what first pulled you toward entrepreneurship and personal development?
Wanting a sense of I'm a little bit of a control freak, and I'm enough of a control freak to know there's no such thing as control, but it took me a while to figure that out. The second thing was everybody that I know that has really sustainable wealth owns their own thing. So they're not really making the money by helping somebody else make the money. And also I've done the corporate thing. I have done the corporate thing. I have climbed the ladder. I was a C-suite executive of a decent sized company. And, when you sit in those rooms with all those people and you get there and you're like, I made it. This is where all the smarties are. And you're like, these people are all just making it up as they go. It kind of gives you the impetus you need to be like, okay, it really is about entrepreneurship. If you ask me, if you have the runway, if you have the grit, if you have some help along the way, I think that's the way to go personally. And it's more of a lifestyle thing for me, to be honest.
Oh no, I feel you. Believe me, that's the goal. That's the goal. Is to fire the job. So entrepreneurship is something that, with me launching Real Wise Productions and then the publishing company, is to eventually build a system where I'm just going and enjoying the time with my wife and my grandkids. So yeah,
Right?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Because
So
who wants to work until they die? Nobody.
no, we shouldn't have to.
Yes.
When did you realize that most people aren't failing because of strategy, but mindset?
That is honestly something that I picked up on a while ago. A while ago. And it was based on the observation that there are some very capable people with really great ideas. And you talk to them, and I'm like, man, they're gonna make it. That's such a good idea. This is what the world needs. Then you check in with them like a couple months or a couple years later, and they've given up. And I'm like, well, what happened? And it's typically something that has to do with what they told themselves that it- something let me rephrase that. It's typically a part of the journey that everybody experiences, but what they told themselves about it, right? So I think there's the experiences and then there's a fork in the road during those experiences.
Mhm.
And the successful people tell themselves different things than the unsuccessful people do. So I kept watching people over and over and over again that I thought had it in the bag, had a great, and it was just like, you quit too soon. You quit too soon. What did you tell yourself?
No, absolutely. That's one of the things. With podcasting, that they talk about there's over 4 million podcasts, right? But there's only like 350,000 that are active, and they're talking about 7 to 10 episodes is the lifespan of a podcaster. And prior to me even starting, my thing was I was in my head. That's where it stuck in my mind came from was me doubting myself. The story, what I would tell myself
What
was
you told yourself.
what who would want to listen to me.
Right.
celebrity. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I don't know anything. Who's gonna want to listen to me? This is all self talk.
Yes.
And it wasn't until I was like, you know what? Screw it. Record it 7 minutes or whatever it was. Put it up without a title. I just uploaded it and just released it, and that's what launched it. Was just me finally just not listening to myself.
Good for you.
Yeah, and that's what happens with a lot of entrepreneurs is they start listening to themselves and
Yes.
doubting, and again, a lot of it has to do with the self talk is what they say to themselves. Like we can be so we can be so mean to ourselves, like
Yes.
really harsh things that we won't allow other people to say to.
That's correct. Yeah. Like, would you say that to someone else? No. Then why are you saying that to yourself? Right.
Yes.
And what I found, what was really interesting is that most people just don't understand that your brain is wired for safety and it's not wired for growth. And success requires growth. So if your brain needs to be tricked a little bit in order to not be your barrier, then you got to know a little bit about that. You got to know why you tell yourself those things. And it is literally that your brain goes, you know what? We don't know how that's going to work out for you. So maybe you shouldn't do it. Right. And it only doesn't know anything it doesn't know. It just categorically puts in the danger zone. So anything we haven't done before that hasn't killed us, right? If we haven't done it before, and we don't know if it's going to kill us, let me rephrase that. And we don't know that it's going to kill us. We're going to assume that it is going to kill us. So don't do it. Don't do it. And that's why people tell themselves things like, who really wants to listen to you? You know, it's not going to work out. Oh, you tried something like this before, remember? Or this always happens, or you know what's ahead. So yeah, that's all very normal, but that's just how the brain is wired. You got to learn how to trick it a little bit.
So how did your own setbacks shape the way you coach others today?
Because I've had all the bad. So I'm gonna write the alternative version to Mel Robbins' "Let Them" is gonna be who cares? Who cares? That needs to be my default. Is like who cares? I have walked that road, and I'll be honest with you. Every additional step I take, I still hear that voice. I just recognize it now. And I do mean like pretty much every right before every next level of success, I've had to combat that inner voice that tells you you probably shouldn't do this. This isn't for you kind of thing. You start off excited, but as soon as you take some action, I know what it feels like to go like, I'm super excited. Or we just talked about you going to a conference. You go to a conference, you get yourself all fired up. You're like, yeah, I wrote all my stuff down. I got my list. I'm committed, accountable, all the things.
Yeah.
And then the first day you sit to do a podcast or to make a phone call or to show up on social media or whatever it is, you're like, wah, wah. Yeah, no.
And it is sometimes it is something for me. It's a recharge, right? If I get to attend it every year, the last couple of years it was just wasn't possible. Last year was surgery. The year before that was my mother passing away,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
so when I get to go to Podfest, it's sort of like a reset for me. It's more of a where I get to go and recharge my battery and it gets me going again for the rest of the year and because it's being able to connect with people who know your struggles and know what you've been through, and now you're able to talk to these people and build with them and learn and ask questions that you might have from whatever you experienced this previous year.
Yeah.
So that's why I look forward to every year going to the event is to actually that's kind of like the reset for me right there where
Yes.
if you like recharge and reconnect and start talking to people and looking at all right what are you doing right now to make what are you doing that's driving whatever it is
Working.
that yeah,
Yep.
working for you? Let's see if I can learn from it and adapt it and apply it in a way that it benefits me and helps me grow. So that's why I actually I tell people like, yeah, if you're in podcasting or whatever it is that you're doing, that they have networking events, if they have local events, attend them. It's
Yeah.
always good
Yeah.
to build these relationships.
And that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to kind of get you back into your executive center, the executive center of your brain. What we found, and I have been in charge of a lot of conventions, and what we always measured was what are the results afterward. And the people who get results after the conventions are people that implement right away at least one thing, one new thing. But what happens mostly is people leave with like this big checklist or this big notebook, and you're like, I'm going to do all the things. And these are like, I'm going to do all, and then the brain goes, you know, no, you're not. No, no,
And that's
you're
the
really
mistake. That's the mistake. Maybe you take one thing,
exactly.
focus on that, and
Yes.
use and start with that little thing right there, right?
Yes.
And build that up and master that. And
Yes.
then before you go on to the next thing, and then
Yes.
and that's the thing. That's where I've learned over the years. Like, all right, this is what really hit me. This is what. So this is what I want to focus on.
Yes.
If it's marketing or it's all right. This is how I need to attend. I need to be a guest more on other podcasts. Whatever it is, it's something I need to go take. I'm going to focus on this part of it right now, and that's what I'm geared towards because that's what I need to develop and grow. But yeah, instead of jumping around on, I'm going to do this, I'm going to master this. When you go through all that checklist, like when have you had the really chance to really learn whatever it is that that particular topic is?
Yeah. Well, and my whole who cares theory is there's not a single thing that you could tell yourself that if you could learn to say who cares, like really ask yourself who cares. So what typically happens is maybe someone came home from that event and they're like, "Okay, I'm ready to start my podcast." And they're like, "Yeah, but nobody's going to listen to it." You got to ask yourself, "Well, who cares?" Right? Who cares? Maybe people are going to laugh at me if I do. Who cares? Maybe it's not going to work out. Who cares? Like really, if you look at it, it's never you that really cares. It's always some sort of external thing that you've associated to your success, like some judgment, some fear, whatever. And if you can get to a place where you're like, I'm going to, it's not my phrase, I'm going to feel the fear. I think this is Katie Byron, feel the fear and do it anyway.
Hmm.
That's the real benefit. It's like, and I wish honestly and truly at events that they would close with more of that they would actually close the event with, hey, listen, let's talk about strategies for when you go home.
How to implement it? Yeah.
And you start to doubt yourself, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do?
And one of the important things for me is it is the networking, right? Because now um I have people that if I tell them something like, "Hey, I need you to hold me account," whatever it is. Hey, I need you to be
Yes.
accountable for like really talk to when if you see I'm slacking. Hey, babe, hey, you told me. So it's those relationships that I love. The fact
Yes.
that if they see something's wrong, that they're reaching out quickly. Like they're, hey, what's going on? You all right? Or
Yeah.
the same vice versa. If I see someone put something and I'm like, let me reach out to this person. It's those kind of relationships that I love the most. Like those are the ones that I know that all right, I've built some real long lasting friendships. Like
Yes.
stuff that yes, we've connected virtually, but these are relationships that I know if we meet in person, it's the same thing.
Yes.
It's been and I've been lucky that I've been able to connect with fellow podcasters live and in person, like going to events that they hold or going at Podfest. And so, yes, it starts off virtually, but then eventually you never know. You might do a collaboration somewhere down the road with a fellow podcaster live in their studio.
Yeah.
It's just being able to just opening those doors and those opportunities.
Yes, yes. Transcending the online and bringing it into real life. And that's honestly, that is another great mechanism. And part of resilience mapping is asking yourself who's my posse? Like who am I gonna who do I rely on to be honest with me? Who do I give permission to be honest with me? And who's gonna hold my hand, when I'm scared? Like I have a friend who very often I will call her, and her advice very often is that's how it goes. Suck it up. And there's some comfort in that. Like there's some comfort in knowing, okay, so nobody waits until they feel really good about it to do it. Right. You do it scared, and then your brain goes, "We didn't die." And now you've expanded your comfort zone a little bit. So just hearing other people walk through the fire and knowing they came out the other side, that's also very meaningful.
Absolutely. So you mentioned resilience mapping, and why is it foundational for long term success?
Because it's not easy. Like and I know everybody's highlight reels on social media is all sunshine and roses, but that is like it's a journey. There are many ups and downs, there are many obstacles, and most people are not wired for that. You were talking about the number of people with podcasts and how many actually continue past, 5 or 10 podcasts. It's honestly because most people are all about the upside of the thing. So all about the reward, the reward, the reward, the reward, but no one's honestly really honest with them about it's going to take some effort. It is indeed a journey. So we're passionate. Most of us entrepreneurs are passionate. Most of us entrepreneurs are go-getters. We're people that want to bring something from our heart and mind into the real world. And it's a little bit like birthing a baby. It's like it brews, it develops, but then there's an initial point there where you got to put in some effort, and it's not pretty,
It,
right?
it's been I've learned so much from just launching the podcast, right? Like I've learned how to edit video, learn how to edit audio. I've invested in a quality mic. I've invested in camera because it was some. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. Let me learn. Let me find out what it is that I need to work on. What I need to work on.
Yes.
What is because I know I'm independent, so I'm not I don't have anyone to edit my videos. So what's the first thing I need to do? I go to YouTube, look up videos. All right,
Yep.
what software am I using? Oh, I have that software. Okay, let me learn that software, and that's what I did. And
Yeah.
then it turns into, oh, other podcasters don't like editing their videos. Maybe they might want to pay me to do it.
That's
Right?
correct.
So
I can solve a problem.
yeah.
Yep.
So I've built a skill from something that was I just found that all right, I love to do this, and
Yeah.
now I'm able to I've been able to monetize myself, not necessarily the podcast, but the stuff that I've learned from the podcast.
Yes.
Just the conversations that I'm having and all these things. I'm applying some of the stuff that I learned from some of my episodes. Like there was a point where I was like, man, I'm enjoying this so much. Like I felt kind of guilty because I was enjoying these conversations so much.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So it was like, but then a guest pointed out what that and said that there's nothing wrong with you wanting to grow and learn and change your mindset. And I've developed and grown so much in the past 6 years since I've launched the podcast because of the conversations and the relationships I've been able to build. And so yeah, it's been great to get the messages from people when they receive a episode that they needed to hear.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like the whole overall experience, just everything that the fact that I took that leap and took that chance and did something that wasn't normal for me. It was like I stepped out of the box and did something like,
Yeah.
okay, here I go. And
Yeah.
come to find out, I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
okay.
and so many people don't understand you're really good at it now, but you didn't start off that
Oh no,
way,
no.
right?
It was work in progress.
That's right, and most people aren't willing to be bad long enough to get good.
Yeah.
Like my first several podcasts, I'm happy to say I'm past this point, but literally, I'm like, "Okay, don't listen to the first ones." Like, like, don't listen to the first ones, and I cannot tell you the number of podcasts that my mic was off. So I thought I was recording my podcast, and I was like, "Ah, that was really
Oh,
good,"
yeah,
and
I've yeah,
then you go to edit it and you're like, "Oh my gosh, you mean if you touch this thing, you mute it?" Like
I've had times where I've haven't like on whatever platform I was using. I think I was using StreamYard at the time, and I didn't have the mic connected to
Yes,
StreamYard, and I'm here talking, and I didn't have audio.
right.
But you gotta laugh, right? Those are moments. Those because I've had some technical difficulties,
Yes,
and they were so funny. Like it's just if you don't laugh at it, like you just I can't get upset at some of the things. It's just life, and I just been lucky that when I've had technical difficulties, the guest has been understanding. Or at one point, I had a fellow podcaster, and my grandson saw the light under my desk, and he was under my desk. He came from the other side, and he came under my desk and saw the light, and decided he was going to touch it and shut down my whole entire system. But I had a fellow podcaster on, and they were able to keep the show going. So I got my system back up, but it was those moments you just laugh and you're like, okay, it's
yeah. Who cares?
yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Who
Who
cares?
cares? And but and honestly, you and I are both at a place where we've had enough of those things to know that this is part of the journey.
Mhm.
But for new people, it shakes them, it shakes their confidence,
Yeah,
and then they tell themselves this is too hard. And like, yes, it is hard. Learning new things is hard. Worth it, 100%
yeah,
worth
absolutely.
it, but you got to do the bad before you're going to get good. But
Mm.
nobody likes to put that in
No,
their social media highlight reels of,
no, everybody, and one of the first things that I started doing, like one of the things I usually do was I would put blooper reels, right? I would
yes.
because there were times where I was doing a morning quote. I was reading a morning quote, and I was doing live and posting it, and every time I would have messed up, I would just all right save it, and then when one day I was like, you know what, I got a bunch of bloopers. Let me just connect them, make it one big video, and people enjoyed it because they
Yeah.
seen they were
Yeah.
like, hey, this is real. Like
Yep.
he messes up is perfect. Like I enjoy. Sometimes I just enjoy when I mess up, and I just go, well, let me just f it. Let me just I messed up. I mess up.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. And I think it helps for people to know we are all doing it. Like
Mhm.
we are all doing it. If you aren't messing up, you're not growing. That's actually the sign of growth. Like, okay. And when I coach people, sometimes I'm like, tell me about your losses this week, and then let's debrief them. Let's figure out what about that is feedback that you need to take into the future. But if you're just kind of like, I'm so dumb and this is terrible and I can't do this, and you never evaluate the feedback, you will continue to make the same mistake. And that is just soul sucking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what what are the most common emotional triggers that derail entrepreneurs?
It is I think it's the ramp up time,
Yeah.
honestly. People don't understand that there is always a lag time between your effort and the result. And again, I'm going to blame social media because, you scroll social media and people are like, oh my gosh, I just got 25 clients. And you're like, okay, I've been working hard. I don't have zero. It's like, okay, but if you look behind the scenes, She's selling stuff for $9.
Yeah,
You're selling stuff for like $1,000. It's not the same.
it's night and day. Yeah, it
Right.
is.
And
And
if you actually look behind the scenes, you would know that, all of these other things are so people don't understand, like, hey, it's like working out at the gym. You're not going to go for a week and look like a beach body kind of model in 7 days. It takes consistency. It takes practice. You got to like the work. You got to show up and do the right work.
yeah,
So I think that's the hardest. And then people are like, "Oh, I'm not cut out for this." And I'm like, "You're doing it. Just hang in there."
absolutely no. Yeah, people they see the end result of everything, right? They don't see the process. They didn't see me at the beginning stages of whatever this is, right? It didn't. It was not what it is today, and to see it grow and just to see like, all right, just challenge myself to do different things like that to again make myself uncomfortable to so that I can grow, so that
Yes.
so that I can be like, all right, let me just dive in and if I don't look at it as um making a mistake, it's more like I'm learning from it. Whatever it is,
100.
I'm taking it and I'm just like, all right, it didn't work. Let's see how do I retweak it and find the proper steps. What is it? What is the lesson that needs to be learned from this right here?
Correct. Where do you think you learned that? Because that's unusual for most people to actually look at things that way.
Uh, a lot of different reading videos. Uh, People like you.
Well,
It's the truth.
you're
Yeah.
investing in yourself. See, that's the other thing people don't do. And again, part of resilient mapping is if someone can sit down and tell you, "Listen, the journey not always fun. Here's the things you can do to make it more palatable. Here's the things that you can do to keep yourself from quitting." And one of those things is, yeah, find your posse. The other is you got to spend some time working and reprogramming your brain. So for me, I'm into, 30 minutes, and I do this 30 minutes a day, listening to a podcast, an audiobook, a lecture, a YouTube in my space on something that I'm struggling with so that I can, like you're talking about, hear the things that I wouldn't hear otherwise.
Mhm.
Like, I'm going to use a pickleball example. I play pickleball. I love pickleball. I, I listen, pickleball is getting in the way of my podcast. I'm just saying. So I should say my podcast is getting in the way of my
Yeah,
pickleball.
pickleball.
Uh-huh. But I noticed, right? You can get out there every day and swing that paddle and keep missing the ball. Like, you can show up on the court and be doing all the wrong things and actually never get better. And it's not until you actually take it seriously enough to learn the techniques that your playtime is going to get better. You are a great example of, doing the do, but most people aren't told, like, hey, you know what? We're not out here flailing around. We're intentional about this. We are actually taking our own courses. We are, listening to other people. We're trying to anticipate the problems we're having so
Mhm.
that when it shows up, we're like, "Oh yeah, we're kind of ready for this. We knew this was going to happen."
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely. I probably watch so many different creators. Like one of my favorite channels is Think Media, right? Because I've learned so much about podcasting and content creation, and it's up to date, and it's for me, it's like all right, and I take a lot of the stuff that I learned from there, and I apply it,
Yeah.
and that's what it takes. It takes you what taking time to listen to a podcast or listen to something that's going to help me grow as in whatever the lane that it is. But yeah, it takes me again investing time in learning
Yes.
these things, and that's what it is. It's taking the time to want to learn, and that's what drives me. Is all right. What is it that I need? What's my next step? Like, what is it now that I need to learn to help me get over that hump? And it's just continuing.
It is an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So why don't goals work the way people think they do?
It is largely because, one, people still don't know how to set goals. they, they really, really do not know how to set goals. And two, they set goals so far in the future that they're not enjoying the everyday work. So it's not that, and I'm still a fan of goals, but there's an and to it. You have to set a long term goal, and then you have to set every day. I have control over this. I can win at this goals. So, for example, and this is something I learned from myself. I was like, okay, why do I feel like I'm burning out? Why do I feel like I'm hustling so hard? Why do I feel like I'm spinning my wheels? Well, it's because what I wanted was in the future. So I wasn't really getting any sort of gratification out of it because what I was measuring was like 90 days, 6 months, a year out. So what I had to do was figure out, well, what could my everyday goal be that would fulfill me and something I have control over? So for me, it's 3 meaningful conversations every day. That is my daily goal that I have full control over. It's not 3 sales a day because I don't really have control over whether people say yes or no, but what I can control is connecting with people, being authentic with them, really having meaningful conversations with them, and then that tells my brain winning, but it also tells my heart winning. And then I get up the next day and I want to do it again.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's important to maybe like some of us, maybe if we set daily goals, right? So
Yes.
something that you can do, like whatever it is, start off simple. Whatever it is, start off with something simple that you can do daily.
Yes.
And
That
from there,
you are in control
yeah.
of the result. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. 100%.
So it could be, hey, I'm gonna read 10 pages out of a book
Yes.
daily. Whatever it is,
Yes.
whatever it is, just start something daily. And and that was something that that I didn't appreciate was like celebrating those little small wins, those little small goals, right? Because the more you celebrate the small ones, right, it's just like start compounding,
Right.
compounding.
Correct.
And at that time, I didn't realize like I wasn't celebrating the small little,
That's right.
and and by not celebrating the small ones, the big one wasn't appearing. Like that door
That's
wasn't
correct.
opening,
That's right.
and it wasn't until I was like really more conscious of celebrating whatever it was. Hey, I got 500 downloads on this episode. I shared it out, or
Right.
I got a email from someone that was like really inspirational, and like thank you, and I share that. It was celebrating those little things that now the doors are opening,
Yes.
opportunities are rising, and and things are happening because I started celebrating the small little things.
Yes. Yeah. And the neuroscience behind that is real. What happens is the brain starts to associate the work with pleasure. So now my nervous system says when we sit down to do this, you're relaxed,
Mhm.
you're calm, you're in the executive center of your brain, which is where all your creativity is, right? Versus this is hard. This is hard. This is hard puts people in fight, flight, freeze mode. So the question is, how can you turn this is hard into this is fun or this is hard into this is meaningful? And that's part of, again, the setup,
Hmm.
resilience mapping, so that long term, you're like, Anna, you know what? It's going to take a minute. And I told you, right? If I told you it's going to take you a while, it's going to take a minute. How are we going to make this fun? How are we going to make it meaningful until like the cash comes in? If it's a business, until the results start coming in, you know? So that's exactly it.
So what are some what are three fatal mistakes that consistency hinder success?
Three fatal mistakes. One is, and you mentioned this, not learning to reframe failure.
Hmm.
So failure is literally just feedback.
Yeah.
Literally just feedback. Don't do that again. Don't do that again that way, right?
Yeah, not
So
that way, not that way. Yeah.
don't do it again that way. But if I see failure as something that's like, a sign. It's a sign you shouldn't do. It's like, no, it's not a sign. It's literally just feedback. How did we fail today and what do we learn? So that's the first thing. The second thing I believe is honestly not having that posse, not having some very seriously committed people who are guardians of your success. Like you've given them permission and they're one step ahead of you. I think it's better to have people that are one step ahead of you that can say, Psh, it ain't a thing. Like that's not a thing. Don't do that. And people try to go it alone. It's like, well, I'm going to do this by myself.
Like I told you, like, it wasn't again. It took me celebrating the small stuff for
Yes.
for those opportunities to really happen, for people to come and be like, "Hey, I see this in you. I want to help you." Like literally, people who just like, "Hey, I see this in you. I see this, whatever it is, whatever greatness, whatever it is. I something's telling me to come work with you." And to get those reactions are like, all right, so now this is what that this leads to, this opening up and looking at those small, again, celebrating those that opening that up has opened up so much more now, right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, now that there's people coming and saying, hey, I see this in you. Here you go.
Yeah.
Let's work together and to get you to that next level, to
Yes.
where you're doing things that that really are shining. So yeah, no, I'm honestly in the last year, the growth from like, and I've been doing my podcast now almost 6 years.
Congratulations. That's incredible.
It's the growth in the past 2 years, that this especially this past year has been amazing. Like the conversations, the people that I've been able to have on, and it's been like, oh man, this is like really the you would think after the 6 years you'd be out. I'm not tired. I'm like I can see this continuing because I can see, because I'm constantly evolving and changing things to make it run much more smoother.
Mhm.
And so with time, everything has to evolve. So the show has to evolve. I have to evolve. I have to improve as a host, whatever it is, to make it flow much more smoother the next time out. And
Yep.
so yeah, it's I'm so happy that I'm being able to do all these stuff, and it's just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say the third thing that is a fatal mistake for people is to not reassess whether what they're doing still aligns with their highest values. So a lot of times people start something, a business, a podcast, something, and it's not aligned with, like, it's somebody else's values, right? So I've seen people before that have businesses because their spouse wants them to have a business. And I'm like, interesting, right? how's that going to work out when it gets tough, you know? Or it was something I valued maybe 5 years ago, but as you've just mentioned, I've grown.
Mhm.
I've changed. So now I've got to iterate just a little bit. And so part of resilience mapping says you revisit your values on a quarterly basis to make sure we're still aligned. Because what you're talking about and that celebrating, that's so important, and the synchronicities that happen as a result are because you're acting in alignment with who you really are.
Mhm.
So when those things line up, it does feel easier. When those things line up, uh, people mysteriously call out of nowhere, right? When it does line up, opportunities present themselves because two things. One, you're just showing up at a completely different energy level. But two, your brain sees things it would have missed before. So all of those things are true. But those are the three fatal mistakes.
One of the reasons I switched to live, right, was because I get to
You
I
don't
get
have to edit the video.
I don't have to edit the video exactly. That was number one. But I get people to engage, like my friend Corrado. He's been listening to me since day one, right? He's one of the ones that has encouraged me. And but yeah, editing, that was one of the major reasons. Yes, was the fact that I no longer had to edit now when I go live, and and it it opened a whole different like thing with now when people leave comments and I share it, now they're part of the show, right?
It's
Now
a show.
it's their show. Yeah, now it's their
Right.
show. It's not like they're a part of the show now. So they get so now it's their show. Like so I love that aspect of it and that's why I decided to go live was the interaction when you get people who leave a comment and yes, editing was another key
See?
factor in that.
Noted. Noted.
So 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 how should entrepreneurs think differently about work-life balance?
Well, I think I don't think there is ever a period of time where you're always in balance. So I think that people need to understand it's a process. You work toward it. I tend to focus more on, are you aligned with your values? Because if you're aligned with your values, you will make the choices that bring balance to your life. You won't be so, like, for example, I really do believe people out of integrity tend to have less work life balance because they're hustling, because they're showing up, they're performing, they're really not creating systems, they're not doing things from that place that we talked about where you're like, hey, I'm aligned and I'm like authentic and things are happening. You have to do a lot more. It takes a lot more effort when you're not aligned with your values. So I'm more of a root cause kind of girl than a, hey, set your schedule up and like, do this, do this, do this. But part of it is, hey, I one of my highest values is time with my family. So if one of your highest values is time with your family, you will make time for your family. You will. If one of your highest values is exercise, you will make time for exercise. If you're not in touch with what your values are, it's really easy to get kind of sucked into the whirlwind of overperforming and showing up all the time and showing too much, and it's ugly. I think that's when it gets ugly, and I think that's when people burn out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree with that. So what business trends should entrepreneurs be paying attention to going into 2026?
Let's get into this 100%. The first thing is authenticity. Like, listen, the lying liars out there, Everybody's on to you. Like, the people that are like, oh, yeah, I'm making $1 zillion, or, oh, yeah, I can teach you how to make $1 zillion. I haven't made $1 zillion, but I can teach you to make $1 zillion. Like, it can't, we can't keep that level of, like, there's a huge trust recession. I was just having this conversation with another friend, and I'm like, I don't trust people. Like, I literally am like, are you though? Like, I was like, are you though? So I think it is better to be authentic and honest than to overhype and over promise and under deliver. The second thing is community, 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 community. So nobody wants to be a transaction. Like, and I do think now is one of the very best times to be an entrepreneur. I don't think there's ever been a better time, because the all of the technology is there for individuals and not just corporations. And I would go a step further to say, I don't even think all the corporations have caught up on all of the digital marketing and social media opportunities that are there.
Yeah.
But what people really want is what they don't want is to be like a transaction. They really don't want to be a transaction. So I think we're going to see more people leaning into communities. I'm going to say it, the live events I think are going to come back with gusto, more analog opportunities to be in front of people and to connect with people. I think those are the trends,
Oh no,
honestly.
it's like last year, me and my me and her actually do a show called Cognitive Cuisine, and she went to a retreat, and she talked about the retreat and how it was a great experience and everything, and I was like, man, I really would like to have a retreat here in the Poconos and get podcasters together, probably like 20 to 25, 30 podcasters get together and collaborate and build together, right? Take these 2, 3 days of just networking and building a community and just focusing on collaborating and building these relationships, because it's something that's I felt was needed. Like, yes, it's great to go to Podfest and to podcast movement and everything, but it sometimes you need those little smaller intimate groups, right? Those settings where you can actually really build and bond and connect with people. You do connect with people at these big events, but I'm talking about 2 or 3 days of spending with the same people, just learning how to collaborate and building shows. And so I've been working on building a plan, and I've sent some rough drafts to some friends, and they're all like, "Oh, I want to be a part of this. Like, what can I do to help contribute to this? What is it that I?" So having that kind of feedback has been like, all right, yeah, these more in person more live in person events are opening, and opportunities are coming up because people want this. This is what people have been. Yes, virtual is great, awesome. Me and you, I can't say anything because I do a live show virtually 3 days a week, but sometimes it's good to be able to go connect with somebody and recording and create content and do something person to person and have these conversations.
Yeah, your next step might be a roadshow, you know, because truly there is the first level is like this kind of digital experience where it's like get to know me, et cetera, et cetera. But there is something to be said about proximity. People want to be in relationships with the people and the brands that they spend their money with, and I should say their resources with, because time is a resource,
Hmm.
right? So if I'm going to spend time, I want to be all in. I mean, that's really what's going to happen now. Is people are like, yeah, and I say that because I think there are so many people that are under the illusion that they can automate their entire business. And I'm like, I believe the more you automate like personable things, the
And
more churn you're going to have in your business.
there's
So,
yeah, there's certain things you need to automate. Yes,
yes,
but there's certain things that you need to add your personal touch to it. That has to be
100%.
100% you. Has to be authentically you. And that's something that I try. Yes, I use AI to help me structure my show, whatever it is. But I need to add my spice to it. I need to add my part of it into it as well. It's
Yeah.
not letting AI do all the work. No, that my show's never been that way. My show was built on me having some wonderful conversations.
And anyone coming to your retreat is coming because of what? They want proximity to you,
Absolutely. Yeah.
right? So it's like you've earned that. You've earned that, and people do want that. They want that. Like sometimes I think people think that success is like, more of of an uphill sort of, oh, look, we're increasing, but I think success is also depth.
Mhm.
It's deepening connections. It's having closer, more intimate conversations with fewer people versus like, a gazillion people. That's my favorite number, a gazillion people. So, yeah, you're thinking all the right ways if you ask me.
Oh, it's like there's certain people that I enjoy. Like I do a couple of different shows. I'm and but I'm the shows that I do are with people that I actually genuinely have chemistry with. Like the shows just flow naturally when we do them, and it was just like there was just certain people that I connected with. Like I don't know, but for some reason, like with my friend Yayoi, because now we have become friends, and it was like, yo, I just said, hey, Yayoi, I'm for some reason something inside of me is saying, ask you if you would be interested in doing a show with me.
Yeah.
And she was like, absolutely. And we built cognitive cuisine, and it's growing, and it's but just being able to connect with somebody and be like, hey, I don't know, but there's just something telling me we need to do this.
Yeah. Did we just become best friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was like one of those things, yes. And but to have those, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So what? Because we've been like time has just been flying, but but what would you say to entrepreneurs listening right now who feels one setback away from quitting?
Yeah. I would tell you you are, and I really do believe this. I haven't met anybody on the verge of quitting that isn't on the verge of succeeding. And like that's the inflection point is I feel like quitting. Like great. That's a great sign. Don't. I bet if I asked you, I know if you asked me, I would say I think about quitting. You don't though.
Mhm.
Like I use that as a signal like okay, I'm about to break through here. So I would tell people you're closer than you think. Push through. Just just push through that feeling because I really believe if you are so invested emotionally that you get to a point that you feel like quitting, it means you've been putting in work,
Mhm.
right? Lazy people don't feel like quitting. Like hardworking people that aren't going where they want to go fast enough, those are the people that feel like quitting. And pretty much one for one, they're underestimating the time and the effort and all the value they've already built. So I'm always like, just hang in there. I'm telling you, a breakthrough is literally around the corner.
Oh, for me, right? Even like now, like I said, the last year, the show has really grown to the point where, um, just the people that are reaching out, right? I'm talking about people with PhDs and all these the alphabets behind their names, and I'm me, I'm just me, and they're reaching out to me like, hey, I want to, I seen this episode, and they break it down and they talk, and they'll pitch themselves to me, and it's like they do know they're just talking to me, right? I'm not like But this just it's just me again, just like, okay, you want to speak to that? Fine,
Yeah.
like, cool, that's cool, but it's still it's still it's still refreshing. Like I'm just like I'm. Are you sure you want to speak to me? Okay, you got the right you got the right person. Like what? Like I'm a big fan of The Secret. Right, I seen the documentary, read the book, and Bob Doyle's people reached out to me one day and was like, "Hey, Bob Doyle would be interested in being a guest on your show," and I was like, "Oh heck yeah!" Like this is like this.
Yes and yes.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Like yeah, okay, no, yeah, I'm good. Like I'm awesome. Yes, no problem. When does he want to do this? Like let me know when. And so that was like it's those moments that kind of just like, all right, this is like surreal sometimes.
You're making it happen. One of the things too that I do recommend for people is to have a success journal
Mm,
where like that is something that should go in a success journal. It's like proof that it's working. That's what goes at the top of the page. Proof that it's working. It could be someone emails you and goes, "Wow, that episode made a big difference in my life." You cut that out and you put it in the journal. I got a phone call from someone significant that great, proof it's working.
yeah,
I hit X amount of episodes, proof it's working. Because there's that lag time and you need signs on the journey that say you're headed in the right direction. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a sign that said success 3 weeks ahead?
yeah,
We'd be like, I'm in for the 3 weeks, right?
absolutely,
All of those things are signs that like success is ahead.
yeah. But we've come to the part of the show where you get the solo screen and you get to plug away and let everybody know where they can find you, websites, everything.
Well, listen, I love this conversation. So excited to have been able to have been here with you all. Absolutely. If this conversation resonated with you and you think, hey, maybe we could be best friends. maybe, did we just become best friends on this podcast? If so, you can reach me at gscory.com. Let's connect. Let's just have a conversation. I would be happy to share with you what I'm doing, how I might be able to help. We can evaluate together if it's a fit for you or not.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being a guest. I appreciate your time. But
Thank
don't
you.
leave just yet. Let me close out the show and we'll chat a little bit off the air. But
Great.
thank you so much for being a guest. This was awesome. I love this. I love
It
when
was a lot of fun.
like usually because I usually try to keep conversations between 35, 40 minutes. But when there's such a good conversation, right, you just gotta let it go. You can't stop it. You can't be like,
You
"Eh,
do.
I got a cutoff point. No, you gotta just let
No,
it go, let it go.
let it roll.
Yes. Thank you. This was awesome. I
My
had a great
pleasure. Thank you.
pleasure was all mine. Thank you. All right, everybody. Another great episode is in the books. That was such an amazing episode. If this conversation helped you rethink how you approach challenges, goals, or burnout, connect with G Skory and explore her work and around resilience mapping. All the links are going to be in the show notes. And if you know an entrepreneur who feels stuck or close to quitting, share this episode. It might be the mindset shift they need. You know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out.